I don't know what it is. Something about how I look in the viewfinder right now. I feel like I look like the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz. Whoa. Okay. So it's no secret, I love me a tan. I tan fairly naturally, but I try to be pretty good with my skin and not getting sunburnt and wearing my sunscreen. So I find what's easiest is to do self-tan. Now I love me an at-home tan, I really do. I feel like I've now really become the friend in the friend group that will give all my friends spray tan, self-tan, contour their body, do all these self-tanning things. Now there is this one self-tan secret that I've been doing for like the past 5 years, and it's kind of like contouring and adding shape into your self-tan. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. I wanna share the secrets with you guys, and yeah. First off, what you're gonna need is your self-tan supplies. This is my bucket of self-tan stuff. It looks disgusting because there's self-tan and stains and discolored areas all over this. The reality is with self-tan, things are gonna get a little nasty, but it's okay. That's why we're in our PJs. Now, I pretty much only like to self-tan at the end of the day, and I kind of sleep in it overnight. A lot of people always ask me, doesn't this make like a huge mess in your sheets? Yes and no. I always actually lay down towels in my bed the days that I'm self-tanning. Normally it doesn't even like leave any stains on the towels, but at least the towels are there just in case. But I always wear like full length PJs and try to cover myself up just so I don't completely annihilate my sheets. It's definitely never as bad as you imagine, but you definitely do want to take some steps and precautions to make sure, you know, you don't stain all of your sheets. Anyways, I'm gonna walk you guys through some of my favorite products. I'm not gonna go through like my entire body care. I mean, I guess I can do a full self-tanning routine if you guys do want to see that later, but today I really just want to focus on using self-tan on the face and my contouring secrets. But obviously you have your givens. You want to make sure that your skin is freshly clean. You have no deodorants or like oils or lotions all over your skin. The one exception, I do like to put a face lotion on. Nothing that's too oily or greasy though, more of like a lightweight kind of gel moisturizer. Anything with thick oils or like any balmy textures, that's just gonna make the self-tan not stick and kind of maybe apply patchy or slide off and sweat around. You wanna make sure that you have no deodorants on, especially if you're going around your armpits or anything like that. The only really thing is if you have extremely dry areas, like maybe your elbows, I always get my knuckles are like really dry. I will put lotion on those areas just to make sure that the self-tan doesn't cling to those drier areas. Now, if you are someone that does have more dry skin on your face, I would maybe err on the side of caution just because it could cling to those areas. So I would definitely recommend always doing a patch test on an area of your skin. And also if you are acne prone, again, just be cautious. Even when I did struggle with acne, I would still do this and I didn't find that this had any effect on my acne. I always found, if anything, this helped me feel more confident because with self-tan, it kind of gives you the illusion of more even skin tone. So I actually like did this all the time when I had acne, but you know, I'm no doctor. Anyways, let's just see the secrets. Okay, so you always want to have your mitts. Now there's a variety of mitts. I've got a James Reed one here. I have some more like soft, furry ones. I have the St. Tropez velvet ones, the more spongy foam ones. That looks disgusting. This one probably didn't get thrown out. Anyways, I find that my personal preference is more of the high quality ones that have, you know, the material all the way around. This one here is the James Reed one, and it's kind of like, feels like a furry blanket. I like it. It just has a bit more like padding and foam to it. Whereas sometimes these cheaper St. Tropez ones, I find, especially if you have fake nails on, oh, I've had situations where my nails poke through and it just can kind of like slide around and get weird. So these ones work, but I mean, if you do have the more high quality thick mitts, I think those ones are actually the best to apply. Ooh, I almost forgot about these little babies. These little St. Tropez baby ones though are really good for your face. So I use these on my face just because they're like mini. Look at them. I like the babies. Anyways. Ooh, one thing I will say though, if you are straight out of the shower, definitely wait like 15 minutes for your pores to close up. What I always do if I'm like about to self-tan, if I'm having a hot shower, whatever, I'll exfoliate, you know, get all good. But then I'll do like a minute of like icy cold shower water, just so that way I feel like it like closes up my pores and they kind of like shrink, just because you want to make sure that your pores are nice and closed and back to normal before you apply fake tan. Now I feel like I've pretty much tried it all when it comes to fake tans. There are a ton of really good ones out there and they all have fairly similar-ish formulas. I've used the James Reed stuff, the Bondi Sands, I really like that. I feel, oh! It's getting crazy over here. I feel like the one that I always come back to though is the St. Tropez one. I've just been using St. Tropez for so long and I feel like it reacts really with my skin tone. This definitely has more of a green base, a more olivey kind of tan. I'm someone that tends to tan a bit more on the olivey side, so I find that the green base actually really works well with my skin tone. But some people don't like that it has a green base, so it just kind of depends on your skin tone and what you like out of a tan. I just feel like since it is more of a green base, it prevents me from going orange, or at least super orange. So this is the one that I like to use. So this one here is a St. Tropez Tropez Express. This is the kind of like 3-hour self-tan. This one's good if you're in a pinch, but I really don't use it unless I'm in a pinch. This one just develops a lot quicker, but the tan isn't as good. So good to have, but not my like go-to. Then I have my most used one here. This is the St. Tropez Self-Tan in Dark, and this is just kind of like my classic go-to self-tan. They also came out with the St. Tropez Extra Dark. This one I feel like can go a bit orange on me, but what I like to do with this is use this one as the contour. Since it is a bit deeper in tone than the dark shade, this is where you get a really good combo. Now, depending on your skin tone, if you find that the dark is way too dark for you, what I would recommend is going up a notch. They have just like the regular, I forget what it's called. I think it's just like, is it called light, or is it just like the original formula? Maybe it's the original formula. I would use the original and then contour with the dark, but I like to do dark as my base, extra dark as the contour, just because I just figure I might as well go for it. Now, the final thing that I have in here is the St. Tropez Self-Tan Bronzing Water Face Mist. Now, this is a very strange product to me, actually. It's kind of like a misting water that you just apply all over your skin. It oddly smells really, really good, and it works. It gives you kind of like an all-over glow, and it's oddly even, which is always confusing to me, because you just spray it on. I don't know. This is, again, more if I'm in a pinch, if I'm just kind of having a lazy night and I don't really feel like properly doing my face, I'll just kind of mist this on my face before I go to bed. So again, good to have, but these two are more of like a lazy, not normal routine. Okay, so obviously with this, what I do recommend is that you do all of your body first and, you know, do everything. For the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna show you guys the face and kind of like around the neck. So normally what I will do is take the mitt, and the mitt will already have product on it from doing my body, so I'll kind of start by working that into the skin. Now, before we get started, the only other thing that you'll need are brushes. Now, I would recommend that you don't use your like best makeup brushes ever. These are makeup brushes that I was kind of willing to donate to the self-tan pile, and I don't use these for makeup anyways. So I kind of have a big stipple brush here. I have more of an angled kind of, this is like my contouring cheekbone brush, and then I have a super precise little brush here. So I just feel like having a nice variety of the three is good. Make sure that these are completely clean. Again, obviously you don't want any oils on these. I like to just take 99% alcohol. I have like a little spray bottle here and completely clean them down, just to make sure there is no residue on them. This one is clearly disgusting and has seen better days, but whatever. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna take the Self-Tan in Dark. I always shake it up. I don't know if you're supposed to shake it up. I always do that though. So I'm gonna start by taking like half a pump, barely. And what I like to do is kind of spread it around on the mitt. Now again, at this point, normally when I'm doing my face, it already has like a bunch of product all over. But I always like to start with the neck and go up. Ooh, one more thing I will say, take off any of your jewelry and take off your rings, because you don't want to get those in the way. I also prefer to do this when my hair is parted, where I normally part it, and I'll show you guys why in a second. You definitely want to have your hair up and off the back of your neck. So when it comes to my body, I normally apply self-tan in more of like a buffing motion, but on the neck, I normally just kind of sweep up. And obviously I feel like this goes without saying, but make sure that you're wearing PJs or dark clothes that you don't mind getting stained. Typically dark, loose-fitting clothes is the way to go. So really the whole trick and technique to this is really just understanding shadows, and if you understand how contouring works and shading, if you're like an artist and draw, that's really what we're gonna be doing to our face to add some definition and basically make it look like you have amazing contours to your face even when you're wearing no makeup. Now, I also always like to kind of self-tan the ears. Again, I'm not like making my entire ear covered, but just kind of going over it lightly, because my ears tend to go pretty red, so this just kind of helps even the skin tone a little bit. You always want to do the back of the neck too. I will say it is helpful if you have a buddy or a friend to help you apply this, especially when you get to the back. But you know, I found ways to get to that horrible spot in the middle of your back that you can never seem to reach. I've got some techniques. Now again, what I really like about the St. Tropez is that I find it very forgiving, even if it looks like kind of questionable on the skin when I'm applying. Always by the time I rinse it off the next morning, it's like super even and always really good. Now I'm pretty sure they recommend you keep it on for what, like 6 to 8 hours? Does this even say how long? Oh, 4 to 8 hours? I definitely leave this on for like minimum 8 hours. I fully sleep in it at night, and I've never had any issues with that. Okay, so next, again, taking whatever is left over, I kind of like to start to take this and work this into kind of the bald spots of my hairline. Now, one technique that I would like to credit Kim Kardashian for is applying self-tan into the hairline. And that is why we actually have the hair parted, because we're gonna fill that in with self-tan, because there really is nothing worse than having a tanned face and then you see this super light part line that doesn't match up. And it's something that I used to never think about, like I would never think to do it, but now I can't help it. So now we're just kind of setting up the base of where the contour is gonna go, and I'm just kind of like flexing my hand like this and using the round part to kind of hit those high points, if that makes any sense. So I'm just kind of hitting around my cheek, my temple, and always just kind of pushing back into the hair. Basically, if you think of the spots that you would apply your bronzer when you're doing makeup, that's where you want to apply this. I always like to really sharpen up that jawline and pop a bunch of color around there. I'm just adding like a little bit more. And obviously, whenever you apply self-tan, I mean, especially this has a guide color, so it applies a lot darker, so you can see where you're applying it. So you will always look a little intense as you're applying it, but trust the process. Tomorrow morning when we rinse this off, we're gonna be looking like we just came back from Aruba. Okay, next up, this is where we get a little more precise and we kind of apply our self-tan like we would our makeup. So I like to kind of take the foam little mitt, apply some product, and this is gonna be like your makeup palette. So I'm gonna start off by taking actually this angled brush. I'm gonna dip it in the product, and always start with less than what you think. And this is just where we're gonna reinforce that contour and get a lot more precise with it. And I find that stippling motions, like the stamping kind of motions, is what kind of seamlessly blends it out the best. Oh, I don't know if I've mentioned this yet. Always do this on a night that you have to wash your hair. Whoa, like if only I had that natural cheekbone. So same thing, I'm just applying a little more, really getting it into the brush, and then same thing on the other side. Now comes time for the hairline. You can go in with like the tinier brush if you want to, but I find that using the big brush is fine. Can you guys see the difference that's making? That just kind of helps soften and blend it in. Now again, taking the leftover in there, get that in your brush, and we're just gonna lightly do the nose. And when contouring the nose, I find if you bring that up into the brow bone, like that, it'll look a bit more natural. I mean, obviously not now, but when we rinse it off. If I need to kind of soften anything out, I'll take more of like a dry part of the mitt. Oh my gosh, this is looking crazy on camera. It also looks 10 times crazier right now because I'm in such a dark like room and I have no lights on except for the light right in front of me. Then if you want to go in with that little brush, I like to contour my lips always as well. This is really just like permanent makeup for your face. Sometimes I'll even go into the crease a bit just to kind of match up with the kind of nose contour. Drag that up like that. And that's the beauty of this. You can kind of leave some harsher lines and it's not gonna actually develop that way. It develops a lot softer. So you don't need to worry about blending it perfect like you would with makeup. Wow, this is a really interesting video that I did not think I'd be putting myself on the internet looking like this. Also, I did want to be clear, this full kind of like contour, self-tan contour look that I'm doing, this isn't something that I do like every single night. This is more if I have like a big event, if I'm doing like a red carpet, gonna be on camera, or if I have like a very big event, I'll normally go ham and do this. Like for a friend's wedding, I was doing someone's tan like this. It's more of like, I mean, it's definitely more of a process. So this isn't, you know, my every Tuesday, although if it's your every Tuesday, I mean, go off, like go for it. Love that for you. So this was all done with just the regular self-tan color in dark. If you do already have, you know, a pretty good base, since I was starting with like literally nothing, I didn't want to add the dark one. But what you can do, what the heck, I'll add a little bit for today, just for the sake of the video. So this is, again, I would normally do this like if I'm midsummer, already have a pretty good tan going on. Clearly I'm completely pale right now, but I will take a bit of the dark and I'll just kind of intensify those contours. So I will always use this one kind of as a base, but then this to really deepen it up. And this whole technique of contouring with the self-tan, it can be applied to every single section of your body. Like I'll do like my shoulders and kind of make those pop. You can do your abs, you can do your legs, your calves, anything. Really just depends. Like if you're wearing a dress and you want to make, you know, a certain body part pop, the same technique applies. So now that I'm going with a darker color here, I'm not gonna bring this all the way out. I'm just gonna kind of keep this a bit tighter to the outside and into the hairline. So I don't want this to pull too orange on me. But luckily what's really nice is that these two formulas like work really well together. They don't interfere or do anything crazy. So they're a really good product to layer on with each other. Okay, there we are, looking ready to go to bed and let this fully develop. Oh wow, I really do look like the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz. Oh wow, what have I done? What have I done? Anyways, I am going to go to my bathroom and now tan the rest of my body, which looks charmingly a very different shade. I'm gonna go do the rest of my body and I'm gonna go hop in bed, make my little towel blanket fort for my bed to protect all my sheets, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Okay, it is the next morning. I just had a shower, washed off all the self-tan, and I think it looks pretty good. It definitely looks very intense, obviously, like I said the night before, but it washes off pretty evenly, and let me give you a nice close-up here. So you can see there's no like harsh lines or anything like that. It just kind of naturally adds a bit of contour on the cheek, makes the jawbone pop a lot more, and obviously around my forehead just kind of creates that little bit of dimension. I also feel like it acts like an eyeshadow too because I brought the contour into the brow bone as well. So there you go. Those are my self-tan secrets. I've been doing it for years and I swear by it. It's also one of those things, like I don't like to wear makeup every single day, but if I have like something like this on, I'm like, oh, I feel just like good, you know? I feel like it is kind of a given with self-tan. It always washes off your face so much quicker than the rest of your body just because I feel like you're washing your face a lot more. I don't know about you guys, but my tan on my face fades so much quicker. But I find this lasts me about 4 to 5-ish days. But with my body, I find that the tan lasts like 7 days. But yeah, that is basically it. Oh yeah, even look at the hairline. Just a bit less, you know, bright and white and like not matching the rest of my face. Let me know if you end up trying out this little trick, and if you guys have any self-tan hacks or tips, leave them down below in the comments because I feel like you guys are always teaching me things. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. That definitely helps me out. Make sure you guys subscribe, comment, follow, do all the things, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!